Like it or not, California has said marijuana is a perfectly legal substance to buy. The federal government disagrees, and that has led to a problem, especially if you want to be a responsible business person and do business transactions like every other business. Well, you're going to meet an interesting person here. Sonia Luna is the president, CEO, founder of Aviva Spectrum, an accounting firm. Good morning, Sonia. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Glad to have you here. We were just chatting off the air. Whether you approve or disapprove of the decision California has made, the fact is, there are businesses trying to operate as responsibly as they can, selling marijuana. The federal government doesn't like that, and it presents a problem when it comes to banking. What is that problem?
The main problem is keeping it as a Schedule I drug under the Controlled Substances Act. So what that means is it's equivalent to cocaine and other bad drugs out there.
Opioids, LSD, those are Schedule I drugs.
A bunch of bad things,
Okay.
and saying it has zero medicinal qualities. That's the other argument that a lot of people are trying to fight with the federal government. So what does that mean practically? You can't get a checking account if you're in the cannabis business. And what does that mean? A lot of cash.
Yep.
So you could be inviting some bad actors, obviously,
Sure.
in the business. But it also limits the access to capital. What I mean by that specifically is if you wanted to buy equipment for manufacturing or growing equipment, you're now paying like ridiculous percentages just to do businesses. So I've seen business plans where they're paying 14, 21% just to get access to capital. If we had banks helping them out, the interest rates would be completely different, a completely different ballgame.
Sure. And again, going back to the first point you made, at the end of the day, you've got I don't know how many thousands of dollars in a bag, and the bank will take cash, and so you're you know it is inviting so much trouble.
Right, and the federal government wants their tax dollars as well, and can you imagine trying to do a transaction all in cash?
Yes.
So some people have gotten creative by getting money orders, through the post office, but there's a limit there.
People trying cryptocurrency to make this happen?
There's a few cannabis companies, I know a few delivery companies that have cryptocurrency. The platforms are very unique. Right now it's, I think, just a waiting game of how cryptocurrency is going to play out, I think, in the United States.
And a currency whose value is so fluctuating, it's hard to run a regular business. Real quick, back to the Schedule I drug, and that's a federal regulation. Simply by moving it to a different definition, it's no longer Schedule I, does that solve this banking problem?
Yes, in a big way.
Okay.
If it's something equivalent, let's say, to aspirin, now banks can actually bank in the industry, not to mention on the tax side. So the IRS has a tax code, it's called 280E. That would allow cannabis businesses to have an equal playing field when it comes to business. Right now with the new tax bill, you're looking at a 21%, let's say, corporate tax rate. If you're in cannabis, you're paying an effective federal rate somewhere between 40 and 50%, which is huge.
All right, so we can get caught up in the numbers. The bottom line is, it's tough if you're doing business, and whether, as I said at the beginning, whether you approve or disapprove of the decision California has made, it's just a fact of life for people trying to do business, that it's a challenge. So we thought we'd talk about that. Sonia, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it. Interesting stuff, Darren Peck.
Yes, it is. I'm so